America, all of this is unfolding. Why do you think they're so brazen now, so in the face? All these things they were quietly setting up for decades now being announced.
It's very simple. You and other people like you on radio, as well as on the internet, have forced them to move forward and come completely into the open. They don't have any choice. You go back to the Brzezinski speech of some 3 years ago. That's how fast time passes. And he said, look, you know, these people are hot on our tail. They know what we're doing. They're exposing it. We got to move fast. And they are. And they're going to make a lot of mistakes. But that's why they're doing what they're doing and why they're coming into the open.
Bob, you believe and I believe the history is clear that we have a chance to win. But how do we get the general public to realize, not just awaken, but realize how much power they've really got?
Well, I think the process is being set up, and that process is that everybody will be financially and economically, perhaps with the exception of people with gold-related assets, they'll be on their knees, and they'll be forcing them. If you want food, you want extended unemployment benefits, food stamps, you got to join the New World Order in general. And that's the way that I think that they intend to do that. But at the same time, when they make that move and the people are in that kind of a position, a lot of them are going to say, no, I don't want to do that. And a lot of other people will follow them, and you could have revolution.
Well, that's what the globalists always do. It's their tried and trusted divide and conquer. They get half the public on welfare or dependent on government contracts. The bankers implode the economy, cut off the money themselves, and then use the dispossessed, hungry masses as a weapon to be pointed at what's left for the middle class and people that are awake and aware who are actually trying to save the country.
And that's true. And it's not only that. It's all the machinations that go on in between. We've been discussing now for 6 weeks what's going on in the Middle East. And I said first on this program that I felt it was a distraction from the financial and economic problems of the United States, Great Britain, and Europe. And then we found out shortly thereafter that Frank Wisnerhead, and he's a former high official in the Central Intelligence Agency, had visited Mr. Mubarak about a month before this all happened. And as far as I'm concerned, he must have given him marching orders. And I think that the end result of what's going on in the Middle East and North Africa now is to keep nations neutralized in some form of disquiet or even chaotic condition, so that no one can assist Iran if the government's going to go after Iran.
When we come back, Bob, I want to get into the TSA. I want to get into gold, silver, oil, commodities, your predictions again, coming true right on time, where you see gold and silver going. Then we're going to open the phones up for everybody that's holding the toll-free number to join us, 800-259-9231. Bob Chapman's our guest of theinternationalforecaster.com.
Becoming a modern smoker is now easier and more cost-effective, thanks to LeSig. Traditional smokers the world over love LeSig. E-cigarettes with a look, feel, and taste of real cigarettes, but without the nasty smoke, ashes, or stains. LeSig is powered by revolutionary microelectronic technology. A small, rechargeable battery and unique replaceable cartridge provide all the satisfaction and benefits of smoking without the smoke and all the hazards. See the large variety of LeSig e-cigarette supplies and accessories at LeSig.com. That's LECIG.com. LeSig is competitively priced, comes with the best customer service, a 30-day warranty, and satisfaction guaranteed. What a great gift idea. For a 10% discount, mention GCN when you call 870-518-4307. That's 870-518-4307. Ask for fast, free, same-day shipping. Order online at LeSig.com and use promo code GCN at checkout. That's LECIG.com. LeSig, for today's modern smoker.
they helped to create a new world order.
We are part of a new world order.
A new world order based upon collective action.
Invisible Empire is a damning indictment of the globalists through their own words and documents.
The New World Order really is a tool for addressing a new world of possibilities.
It means all the world under their control.
The United Nations would take over America. The Trilateral Commission would control the world.
Invisible Empire chronicles how men of power and influence have worked in stealth for centuries to establish an oppressive world government.
I believe, first of all, that we now need nothing short of a world constitution for the global financial system.
Global governance with the establishment of the G20.
So it's going to be an inner ruling elite and then everyone else. And I got news for you. You're everyone else.
Invisible Empire. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com, or watch it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Gold isn't for you? Ted Anderson, president of Midas Resources, one of the world's premier gold and precious metal investing firms. I get it. You wouldn't buy gold if you believed that the government is doing a great job, that the Fed will stop handing out trillions of dollars like bailout candy, that Social Security would be there for you. That's not what's happening. You might even pass on gold if the stimulus package wouldn't fuel inflation, or that the dollar wouldn't lose value, or that your retirement would be secure. If all looks rosy to you, then now is not the time to buy gold. For the realist, there have never been more sobering reasons to diversify with gold. Since 2001, the U.S. dollar index has tanked 30% while gold has risen 300%. Right now, savvy investors are adding gold to their portfolios. You should too. Find out what they know. Call us and I'll send you 10 reasons why gold will do very well, free. 800-686-2237. 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill. Gun sales are on a staggering pace. Gun prices are going through the roof, and that means desperate, vicious criminals now want your guns and will do anything to get them. Now, a new book reveals powerful secrets for hiding your guns from thieves and looters. You'll learn step-by-step, battle-hardened techniques, where to hide your guns so criminals will never find them, how to create the perfect hiding place, as well as the places you should never hide your guns, under any circumstance. These and other closely guarded gun caching secrets are guaranteed to keep your weapons safe and out of sight when the going gets tough. But listen up. For security reasons, the Hide Your Guns book and even the website may disappear without warning at any time. Go to hideyourguns.com. That's hideyourguns.com. Or call 877-327-0365 before they come for your guns. Hideyourguns.com right now. Right now.
Of important news we want to pick Bob Chapman's intellect on. But as I told you, we're going to start really pushing twitter.com/RealAlexJones with your daily questions, inside info for Twitter followers. And we're trying to make it the #1 search term today, Alex Jones Twitter. So please put that in Google over and over again. I want to salute all of you that are doing that. I guess it's going to be an important tool. We want to dominate that like we've dominated everything else. I've got a few questions here, though, that came in off of Twitter. Several for Bob Chapman, a whole bunch for me. It goes on to say, Alex, what is your favorite anti-tyranny quote? JB YRD Street asked that question. It'd have to be, I have sworn on the altar of God, eternal resistance against every form of tyranny over the mind of men, Thomas Jefferson. In fact, guys, can you cue up that liner? I think we have it dry just with the Thomas Jefferson, because I think I paraphrased it a bit there. And while they're getting that queued up, Bob, we have a couple questions here for you. Bob Chapman, they asked the question. It was actually HMAA asked me about my favorite quote. It was Jaybird Street that asked Bob Chapman, how would you hold gold or silver? Proofs, uncirculated, or bars? And then we have another question here saying, is it possible to dissolve the Federal Reserve? So, Bob, will you take both those questions, please?
Well, my favorite is bullion coins, both in silver and in gold. Occasionally, mint state graded numismatic coins, depending upon the pricing structure. But that's where most of what I have is. The other part of the question was?
Well, they asked the question, can we abolish the Federal Reserve?
That's it. It's possible, but I don't think it's probable. That is the key to the control of the American people and probably the finances of the world.
Yeah, that's dropping the coin into the crack of doom in Mordor. That's the big win.
Yeah, and that's going to be very, very difficult because they bought Congress. They own 95% of it. And so unless we're successful in removing the incumbents from Congress and getting people in there who will vote properly on our behalf, then nothing's going to happen short of revolution.
Let's go ahead and play that quote.
I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man. Thomas Jefferson. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Okay, so there you go. There's my favorite quote. Bob, the TSA, there's now no doubt. It's in Forbes. It's in AP. They are running checkpoints all over the country. They are sticking hands down pants. They are driving people under high-powered radiation machines while the idiot local trained police under TSA control stand around roasting, scanning hundreds of cars. I mean, it's like they know something's not going to be here in the future or something, frying all their own minions. I mean, the globalists are just so brazen, Bob.
Well, frying their minions is not important to them, as we know. They'd like to get rid of 60 to 80% of the people on the planet anyway. And to them, they'll eventually be useless eaters. But there's one aspect that we haven't talked about here, and that is now they want to check the genetic design of people while they're doing this process.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's always worse than I say. That's right. They're going to take a cheek swab of your tissue now when you fly. Isn't that nice?
Unbelievable.
Setting the precedent to get in our bodies, as I've been saying, with the federal funds, to have police take blood at warrantless checkpoints.
That's right. And that's another one I didn't even think of. I mean, they are just pushing and pushing and pushing. And we've got to push back. We got to bring it to the attention of the general public. You don't have to put up with this. You shouldn't have to put up with this. And complain to your congressmen and senators. Complain to the local law enforcement if they're involved in it.
Well, that's the good news. All over the country, states are passing laws. Why, I don't know. It's already illegal for TSA to stick their hands down your pants or even on the outside on your genitals. But they're saying, we're going to arrest you, TSA, if you do this. So the states are bucking up and saying no.
Well, I think that's fantastic, and I hope they pass it quickly, especially in large states like New York, California, Illinois, Texas, and Georgia, where you get a lot of plane traffic. One of the things that hasn't brought out, I don't think it's brought out in the program, and that is what they, and I don't know what group this is, I'll call it Homeland Security. They are checking people getting on and off planes now, and they have dogs, and the dogs identify certain things like gold, silver, money, etc. And if the dog gives a loud bark, I guess, they grab this person out of line and find out what they're carrying. And so that's another thing that you have to watch out for.
Absolutely, Bob. Let's come back, take phone calls, get into the economy.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, it seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
Alex told you the government announced recently that the recession is over. It ended on June of 2009. The millions of Americans unable to find work might not agree. Perhaps the recession ended for the bankers and government employees, but for the rest of us, things seem to be getting worse. Gold and silver haven't heard the news either. They've begun their long-expected journey to the moon.